Welcome back to SpeakNest English Podcast Zone, where we make English fun, real, and full of life. This is your host, and today, we're stepping into the most practical and powerful use of English.
So today we're jumping into something really practical, talking about your health in English. Whether it's actually visiting a doctor or maybe just chatting about your daily habits.
Yeah, knowing the right phrases, it just makes things so much easier, doesn't it?
It really does. We've got some great material here that's all about making health communication in English, well, straightforward and hopefully effective.
Effective, exactly. It's quite striking how just knowing a few key phrases can, really empower you in those moments.
Especially when it's about your health, right?
Absolutely. When clear communication is just, vital.
Okay, so let's think about maybe not feeling great. You need to tell a doctor the basics. Simple phrases usually work best.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, like, I don't feel well. That's a clear start.
Good starting point.
Or if you have a specific symptom, maybe I have a fever.
Or I'm coughing a lot. That's a common one.
Definitely. And for pain in a certain spot, my stomach hurts.
Or maybe duration, like I've had a headache for 2 days.
Right. And sometimes it's more general, isn't it? Just, I feel weak and tired.
Yeah, that gets the overall feeling across.
And the key question, if you think you need treatment, can you prescribe some medicine?
Crucial question. And notice, these are mostly simple present tense, right? I feel, it hurts.
Good point. Easy to understand.
Very clear for the doctor. You don't need complex grammar here, just clarity.
Speaking clearly, maybe a bit slowly. That helps way more than perfect sentences.
Totally agree. Okay, so then the doctor might ask you questions.
Right. Need to be ready for those too. Things like, when did the pain start?
Yeah, or do you have any allergies? Always important.
And are you taking any medicine right now?
Or sometimes about diet. Did you eat anything unusual?
Oh, yeah. Or they might just need you to pinpoint it. Can you show me where it hurts?
And thinking about how you'd answer these ahead of time, it can really speed things up.
Definitely reduces the stress. And the answers can be simple too.
Keep it brief.
Yeah. To when did the pain start? Just, it started yesterday.
Perfect.
Or for the medicine question, I'm not taking any medicine. Clear. Done.
Exactly. So this kind of clear talk, it's not just for the doctor's office, is it?
No, absolutely not. It feeds right into how we talk about our, daily health habits, fitness, wellness.
Right. Talking about how we stay healthy. Again, doesn't need to be complicated language.
Not at all. Think about your routine.
Yeah.
Maybe I go for a walk every morning.
Simple. Or I do yoga to relax.
Good one. And hydration is key, so I drink lots of water.
Just straightforward facts about your habit.
And sleep. Sleep is important for health. Can't argue with that.
True. And food choices come up a lot.
Yeah, you could say something like, I avoid junk food.
Or make a suggestion, perhaps.
Yeah.
Let's eat more fruits and vegetables.
Nice. And you can easily combine these like, today I walked for 30 minutes. I feel fresh.
Yeah, it paints a little picture of your day, your activity.
It shows how these small phrases build up.
Exactly. They let you share your lifestyle, what you prioritize for your health. It's about communicating effectively.
So yeah, we've covered some really useful stuff here. Phrases for the doctor, answering their questions, and then chatting about daily health.
Foundational tools, really. Things you can use right away.
Definitely practical.
And stepping back a bit, having these phrases ready, it just gives you more confidence, doesn't it?
It really does, especially if you're navigating healthcare in English.
Yeah, it helps you take a more active role in those conversations about your own well-being.
Totally. So that leads to a final thought for you, listening. How could just having, say, a few of these phrases ready to go actually boost your confidence? Your confidence in taking care of your health when you're in English-speaking places.
Yeah. Think about how that ability to communicate proactively, even simply.
How that might genuinely lead to better well-being in the long run. Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Today we're really digging into how to talk about health in, simple English.
Yeah, how to feel confident discussing it.
Exactly. We've looked at some sources with really practical phrases for physical stuff like doctors, but also emotional well-being.
Right. The mission really is just equipping you with the language you need for those everyday health chats, making things clearer.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with something basic like food.
Makes sense. Food is fuel, right? Our sources really emphasize that. And they give some straightforward ways to talk about eating habits.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, simple things Like, I eat eggs and toast for breakfast. Just factual.
Direct. Or maybe I avoid oily food.
Exactly. It says something about your choices, doesn't it? What's
Yeah.
useful about these simple phrases, you think?
Well, they're just practical, like you said. You don't need fancy words. Even saying, I love homemade soup.
Yeah. That connects enjoyment with something probably quite healthy. It's a nice positive link.
Totally. And it feels good to state those things. Another one was, fruits are good for my skin. Simple cause and effect.
Linking diet to a noticeable benefit. That's quite powerful in its simplicity.
And being proactive too. Like, let's cut down on sugar. It's, a clear goal.
And if you look at the bigger picture here, these aren't just random sentences. They show a certain self-awareness, intentional choices.
Right. Small steps towards maybe feeling a bit better.
Yeah.
We even found this suggestion, like a little action for you listening. Try saying, today I cooked something healthy. It was tasty.
Yeah. Just saying it out loud can kind of reinforce it for yourself, make it stick.
Okay, so that's food. Now let's shift gears a bit. Emotional well-being, which is, so tied to physical health.
Oh, absolutely. They're completely linked. And, the language we use here is maybe even more critical. It helps us actually acknowledge how we feel.
Or sometimes avoid it, right?
Or avoid it, yeah. So simple phrases become really important starting points.
So what did the sources offer here? Things like, I feel stressed. That's a big one.
A very common one. Or just, I need to relax. Being able to state that need.
Why is just having these basic words so crucial for emotions, do you think?
Well, it helps normalize things, doesn't it? Like being able to say, I feel anxious sometimes. Lots of people do. It's okay.
Right. It takes away some of the stigma, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And phrases like, I'm trying to stay positive, that shows you're, actively working on your mindset.
Yeah, it's not passive. And then there's the connection aspect. I talked to my friend and I feel better now.
Oh, that's vital. Shows how connecting with others really helps manage emotional states.
And this one phrase really stood out. It's okay to not be okay.
That's such a key message. It kind of pushes back against that pressure to always seem fine.
Yeah, like you have to be perfect all the time.
Exactly. It validates, the whole range of feelings we have as humans. It's okay.
All right, let's maybe quickly recap some key words that popped up across these topics. Just some basic vocabulary.
Good idea. The building blocks.
Okay, say them with us if you like.
Yeah.
Fever.
Fever.
Cough. Headache. Healthy.
Medicine. Tired.
Sure.
Fresh.
Yoga. Sugar. Yeah, a good mix there.
Pretty common words, right? But essential for these kinds of conversations.
Definitely. Knowing them just gives you more power, whether you're at the doctor's or just chatting with a friend about how you're doing.
So here's a little challenge, maybe, for you listening. Try using, say, 3 of these words today.
In a sentence. About how you feel or what you did.
Yeah, just a simple way to start using them actively.
Makes it real.
So just to wrap up, think about it. How being able to, say how you feel physically or emotionally.
Even with simple words.
Yeah, even with just basic phrases. How that actually empowers you. It lets you take better care of yourself.
It really does. Clear communication, even simple communication, helps you get your needs met, find support.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Definitely something to think about.
Getting into English for health.
Yeah, focusing on those really practical bits, talking to doctors, explaining how you're feeling.
Right. We've looked through some useful sources, pulled out some key phrases, vocabulary.
And, a bit of that positive mindset stuff too.
Exactly. The whole mission here is to help equip you with the English you actually need for your own well-being.
It's quite powerful, isn't it? When you can communicate those health concerns effectively, it makes a real difference.
It really does. And to kind of get a feel for this, let's look at a mini role play. A quick interaction, say, at a clinic.
Good idea. These everyday exchanges are like prime examples.
Okay, so imagine this. The doctor says, hello, what seems to be the problem?
Pretty standard opening.
And the patient replies, I have a bad headache and feel weak.
Clear, direct. Good.
Doctor asks, since when?
Important detail.
Patient, since yesterday. I couldn't sleep well.
Adding context. Helpful.
Then the doctor might say, I'll give you some medicine, take rest.
Okay, the action plan.
And the patient finishes with, thank you, doctor.
Simple, polite closing.
So it seems really simple, right? But think how often something like that might come up. Notice how direct it is.
Very direct, to the point, questions, answers.
And if you had a different symptom, say a cough, you just swap out headache for cough.
Exactly. Mastering that basic structure lets you convey the main issue pretty clearly.
Okay, so to help build up your sort of toolkit for this, let's run through some essential health vocabulary.
Yeah, words you'll definitely hear or probably need to use.
You jot these down if you get a chance. Fever, cough,
Yep,
headache,
a common one.
healthy, medicine, tired, doctor, fresh,
Fresh is interesting there.
yeah, and yoga, sugar.
Right, so these cover symptoms, general state, treatments, some lifestyle bits too.
Exactly. The more familiar you are, the easier it gets.
Absolutely. And you mentioned fresh. It makes you think, like fresh air, fresh food.
Yeah,
It connects to well-being in a broader sense.
totally. And, it's not just about the words themselves. It's also about sort of feeling okay about taking care of yourself. One idea that came through in the materials was how learning English for health and actually focusing on your health, they're both like empowering steps.
Yeah, there's a real sense of self-care involved in being able to articulate what you need. It connects.
If you think about it from a bigger picture perspective,
Go on.
being able to communicate effectively in English about your health, it just opens up more doors, doesn't it?
Definitely. Access to information, different resources maybe, better self-management of your health, all that.
So just to recap quickly, we've touched on some useful phrases for those doctor visits.
We're practical dialogue bits.
We've built up some key vocabulary
Fever, cough, healthy, all those.
and sort of highlighted that positive link between learning the language and looking after yourself.
And there was that one line, remember, from the sources. It's okay to not be okay.
Yes, that's so important.
Really crucial. Being able to actually say when you're not feeling great is, fundamental to this whole thing.
Couldn't agree more. So we really encourage you to, keep these phrases and words handy, practice them a bit.
And this came straight from the material too, some very practical advice. Drink water,
Simple, but effective.
get some sleep.
Yes, basic self-care. Can't beat it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so on that note, maybe a final thought for you to ponder.
Okay.
How might feeling more confident expressing your health needs in English actually empower you?
Right.
Like, could it open up new ways for you to practice self-care or find different kinds of health information?
That's a great question to leave people with, thinking about the possibilities.
Yeah, something to mull over. Thanks for joining.
That's all for today's episode of SpeakNest English Podcast Zone. Remember, you don't need big words. You just need real practice. Speak at home, speak while walking, and most importantly, speak without fear. See you next time, where we'll go deeper and make English more natural and powerful for your real life. Until